Jay, I want to start just on a lighter note. How's Halloween for the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers?
It was a good Halloween. My kids got a big haul, and my wife and I made sure to go through it and inspect all the candy like you're supposed to do as a good parent, and then limit the amount of consumption. Make sure you're not at an area where they're having too much.
Does that apply for you as well?
It does, yes, on a one treat limit.
You guys are the full chocolate bar house, aren't you?
Well,
Full chocolate bars?
I think, yeah, you know what? I'm not in charge of that. My wife is in charge of that, and she did a great job. There was a lot of decorations, and she really gets into it. My kids really get into it.
Are you able to, especially coming off a win, is it nice to be able to, I don't know if you can turn off professional and personal. You know, there's lots at stake, but you have a nice win. It's kind of, you're able to enjoy the outside of rink moments even more.
Well, I think part of having a family is that they keep you pretty grounded, whether you've won a lot of games in a row or you haven't won some games. The ability to go home and just be dad is an important release for any coach. So for me, my family does a great job of making sure that my mood and my attention is where it needs to be when I'm at home. But certainly, you know, after, you know, the weekend, which I thought it was a big weekend, not only for our hockey team, but for the city as well, to it go well to the, you know, for the team to get 2 points, you know, I thought was important for us. It's something to build on. We've had some good practices here, and we're going to be ready for a really good hockey team that's going to walk into our building tomorrow night.
What can you say about the energy level and the attitude that Sam Gagner brings to the dressing room?
Yeah, you know what, I got to know Sam a little bit through training camp a few years ago, and then he ended up in Bakersfield for a little bit. So I think Sam's a professional. Sam has a good experience in this league. He's been everything from a first-round pick to a first-line player to finding a way to stay in the league for as long as he has. You know, he has a skill set about him. I think he's an elite thinker. You know, for us, I mentioned this yesterday in the media availability, was that that grouping of 5 or 6 players in the bottom part of our forward group, we're looking for more. We are looking for more. And can Sam come in and make a play? You know, that's what our hope is. We're about to find out. But for him to come in, you know, he's an accepted member in that locker room. People respect his experience level and his skill level, and we're excited he's here.
What about the affordability, Jay, to have 2 days of practice, as you touched on, with the games and, you know, the schedule and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's good. You know, we're constantly working at our game, tweaking little parts of our game. And to be able to do that and have some practices, I think that's positive, especially early in a season, because, you know, you get into the dog days of January and February, it's about keeping people healthy and just keeping your motor running. This is when you can actually work at your game, and our fellas put in 2 good practices yesterday. We got up and down the rink for a long time. Today was a little bit more tactical and reinforcing some things we did well on Sunday. But as I said, we have one of the Western Conference's top teams coming into our building, so we better be ready. We had 2 good practices, but we got to show it come game time.
I asked you a question about a week and a half ago about getting pucks and people to the net. I think basically was the gist of my question. 3 goals on Sunday, either perimeter shots that went in or deflected or a rebound. Did you like the mentality and the execution in that regard?
Yes, and you know what? It doesn't take a high skill level to get to the front of the net. If someone hasn't scored in a month of Sundays, that's a saying in the coach's world, the month of Sundays, if they haven't scored in a long time, you know, I think one of the simplest remedies or most direct remedies to find offensive success is to go to that little area in front of the goaltender, in front of that blue paint, because when pucks get there, usually if there's enough people there, there's chaos and an ability to score on second and third chances. And that's something that we can be better at. We had a good game on Sunday, but we're going to have to bring that in tomorrow night versus a really good net play team. We can't accept box outs. We have to fight through them and get to the hard areas to find success.
What would you say about Joe Pavelski? And, you know, you saw him for a long time. And still doing it, you know, he's pushing 40 here.
Yeah, one of my favorite players that I've been around, and I've been fortunate to be part of 3 really good franchises and see all sorts of different types of players. But when I look at Pavelski, he's somebody that obviously got the most out of what he was given in a raw materials package. He's not the biggest man in the world. He's not the smoothest skater in the world. He's not the strongest guy in the world. But he finds a way to use the space between his ears to get to spots, to play the game at his fastest pace. You know, as I said, in terms of someone who is coachable, someone who is open, someone who is willing to take a step to improve each day. He's a fantastic role model in San Jose when I was there, and obviously, you know, he's kept his career going here for a number of years. So happy for him. But you know, that line that he plays on represents quite the challenge, and that's what our focus is going to be heading into tomorrow night. Good. Thanks. Sam, you got a question? Let's hear it.
Who will be starting in net?
Who's going to be starting in net? I see how everybody works here. Sam, I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to use the time that's available to me. I'm going to sleep on it, and we'll decide that tomorrow.
Just a kid.
Yeah. Good question, though, Sam. You can ask another one if you have any.
I don't have any.
You don't have any more. Okay, good job on the mic today.